Spider-Man and Black Cat, one of those on and off couples in the comics, have always had a complicated relationship. It would have been great if they had stayed together a little longer, but maybe we'll see more of them in the future. The two have had plenty of crossovers, so let's check out a few of them. In Superior Spider-Man, Otto Octavius is the one taking Peter Parker's place. He swings through the city on patrol, talking to his girlfriend Anna Maria Marconi over the phone. Spidey tells her that this time he won't be late for their date and that dinner is on him. But Anna says she loves cooking, so it feels weird to her if someone else cooks for her. As they talk, Spidey's spider sense suddenly kicks in and he bumps right into Black Cat, who as usual is in the middle of a robbery. Spider-Man ends the call with Anna, saying something important just came up. Black Cat, excited to see him, thinks her night just got a lot more fun. She starts flirting with him, not realizing it's Otto under the mask. But when Spider-Man calls out her full name, she gets suspicious, wondering why he's being so formal. Before she can flirt any further, Spidey punches her right in the face, knocking her off the roof. A tooth breaks as she yells, "A tooth! You just cost me a tooth! What the hell are you doing?" Spidey calmly replies that he's Spider-Man and she's a criminal, and this is what he does to criminals. Black Cat, still shocked, tries to lighten things by saying they always dance around each other whenever they meet, so why so serious this time? But Spidey isn't in the mood. He webs her up against the wall and swings away, saying the authorities will be there soon. Black Cat growls in anger, "I won't forget this, Spider, ever." Then in Symbiote Spider-Man, we see a much better chemistry between the two. And this time, it's Peter behind the mask. It begins right after they both take down Electro. They sit together on a rooftop talking, when Black Cat tells him he should reveal his identity to Aunt May. That shocks Spider-Man. He wonders how she even knows about his aunt. But he explains that revealing his identity might end up hospitalizing her, or worse, killing her. Spider-Man asks when Felicia even met Aunt May, and she tells him it was after he left her in the cemetery. Curious, he asks what they talked about, and Black Cat says, obviously, they talked about him. She admires that he has someone he can tell everything to. The conversation grows tense, and Spider-Man swings away angrily, leaving her mid-sentence. In silence, Black Cat mutters, "Big dummy. God, some nights I wonder why I even love him." When she gets to her apartment, she's interrupted by Mysterio, who's there for business. A small fight breaks out before Mysterio tells her he's offering her a job, and it pays well. Black Cat is surprised and asks what kind of job it is. Mysterio says he just wants her to collect something for him. He shows her a small container and a laser scalpel, explaining that he needs her to place a certain object inside. When she asks what that object is, Mysterio says it's the black and white Spider-Man costume, the alien symbiote suit. Black Cat gets furious after hearing that she refuses to betray Spider-Man, no matter the money. But Mysterio points to a file on her table and tells her to check it. When she does, she's shocked to see every detail about how she got her powers from Kingpin written inside. Mysterio warns her that if Spider-Man ever finds out, that'll be betrayal enough. As he starts to disappear, Black Cat yells, "Wait! Give me the damned scalpel!" Meanwhile, Spider-Man swings across the city, wondering what Mysterio might be up to. His spider sense tingles as he returns to his apartment, and to his surprise, Felicia calls out to him wearing a bathrobe. As he asks what she's doing, she drops the robe to reveal lingerie and teases him, asking if he's going to keep her waiting. Later, she thinks to herself that she has to act quickly, since her knockout drug-laced lipstick isn't working well on Peter. She grabs the black suit, tells it not to slither off, and cuts off one of its fingertips, sealing it inside the container. As she worries about what Peter will say when he notices, the suit regrows itself. Feeling guilty, she suits up again and leaves, trying to convince herself that what she's doing is for the good of their relationship. Another moment comes in The Amazing Spider-Man by Nick Spencer. The two are sitting on a rooftop after a heist, talking about the day. Spidey says he had fun spending time with her, and Black Cat agrees, but admits she's seeing someone Spidey tells her he is too. She goes on to say she's been in a dark place, and it all started back when Spider-Man wasn't really himself, when Dr. Octopus had taken over his body. During their chat, Black Cat rolls her eyes and says, "I don't remember you." Spidey tries to joke it off, saying he thought he'd made better impressions, that he's no Gambit, but still. She cuts him off, explaining that she meant she doesn't remember who he is under the mask. Spidey stays quiet for a moment, thinking about how every time he reveals his identity, things go badly. Maybe it's for the best that everyone forgets who he really is. But Black Cat gets upset, saying she's not everybody. They had a real relationship once, and now she can't even remember his face. That hurts. Spidey watches her for a moment, seeing how sad she looks with her head down. To cheer her up, he stands up, calls out her name, and pulls off his mask, saying, "My name's Pete. But can you still keep calling me Spider? Because it actually makes me sound super cool, like a super cool biker." Black Cat's eyes well up as she sees his face, and Spidey hugs her tightly, as friends again. Later, when Peter returns to Mary Jane's apartment, he tells her everything about his day with Felicia. Mary Jane listens calmly, assuring him she isn't jealous. There's another story in Mary Jane and Black Cat, Beyond, where Peter Parker is hospitalized after a brutal fight with multiple villains. Black Cat, not in her usual suit, visits him at the hospital, trying to bring back his superhero spark. As she enters the room, she greets Mary Jane, but then notices someone unexpected, a depowered Parker Robbins, also known as the Hood, pointing a gun at Mary Jane while Peter sleeps peacefully in his bed. Robbins reveals that he's there because something very dear to him was taken away, and only Black Cat can get it back. When he learned she was visiting a washed-up photographer in the hospital, he jumped to the conclusion and came straight there. He tells Black Cat to retrieve his magical hood for him, or he'll put a bullet in Peter's head, and the next one in Mary Jane's. Felicia agrees to do the job, but insists she'll need MJ with her because she's part of her crew. Robbins accepts, but reminds Felicia she has only until sunrise to get it done. As Felicia and MJ leave the room, they talk on the stairs. Felicia admits she only said MJ was part of her crew to get her out of there safely, and now she wants her to lay low until this is over, but MJ refuses. She wants to help and insists on joining Felicia to find the hood. Their first stop is Count Lucino Nefaria. The Count calls for a seat so they can talk, while Bruno Granger pulls out a list of names connected to Robbins losing his powers. After chatting with Nefaria, Mary Jane recalls how Hawkeye defeated the Hood, and the two start running down the list until they find out that a bag demon actually ate the magic hood. The last person on the list is Tombstone, so they head his way next. Knowing how dangerous he is, MJ poses as Felicia to throw him off. She tells Tombstone that she has the demon bag, and he takes the bait, chasing after her as she escapes. Meanwhile, Felicia sneaks into Tombstone's apartment and steals the real demon bag. With only 15 minutes left before sunrise, Robbins prepares to kill Peter. But before he can, Felicia and MJ crash into the room, both now dressed in matching catsuits, holding Robbins's hood. They glance at Peter, who's still fast asleep, and MJ asks, "How did he sleep through all of that?" Felicia sighs and replies, "Please, Captain America and I have been putting him through the ringer. Spider waking up on his own was the least of my worries." Just then, Peter slowly stirs, opening his eyes slightly. Seeing MJ and Felicia in their catsuits, he murmurs drowsily, "It's this dream again. Be gentle, please." He still thinks it's all just a dream. Then, in another issue of The Amazing Spider-Man by Justina Ireland, Peter is deeply depressed. He runs into Shay Markin after a long time, but she's furious because he completely ghosted her for days and weeks. Peter hangs his head, agrees with everything she says, and promises he won't bother her again. But before leaving, he asks her quietly, "How do you do it, when it all feels so pointless?" Shay softens, shares her own experiences, and advises him to talk to a professional before walking away. Peter stands there silently for a moment, lost in thought. Later, he stops by Black Cat's apartment. He sits on her window ledge until Felicia pokes her head out, surprised to see him there without his costume. Before she can say anything, Peter looks at her with pain in his eyes and says, I saw you die, Felicia. I saw everyone die. Everyone, and it did nothing. The world went on. I just can't. Black Cat slips out through the window and sits beside him. She tells him that everyone dies. That's how the story ends for all. Then she asks if he won his latest fight. Peter replies that he didn't lose, but he didn't really win either. It just feels empty. Felicia looks at him for a moment, then leans closer and says softly, "Oh, Peter, you have to know that no matter how bad things get, there is still good in the world." And with that, she leans in and kisses him passionately. The two spend the night together, finding a little warmth in each other's brokenness.